answering your tough financial questions for the past 26 years. It's Allworth's Money Matters with co-hosts Scott Hanson and Pat McClain. Would you like an opinion on a financial matter you're dealing with? Whether it's about retirement, investments, taxes, or 401ks, Scott Hanson and Pat McClain would like to help you by answering your call. To join Allworth's Money Matters, call now at 833-99-WORTH. That's 833-99-WORTH.
Welcome to Allworth's Money Matters. Scott Hanson.
Pat McClain.
Glad you are here with us today as we talk about financial matters. Both myself and my co-host, we are both financial advisors, certified financial planner, chartered financial consultant. We spend our weekdays with people like yourself, helping them, or maybe we spend our week working remotely with people like yourself and broadcast here on the weekends to be your financial advisors on the air.
But some of our offices across the United States are open. We're located in California, but some of our offices are. I think the ones in Dallas and Atlanta and Cincinnati is.
You know, it's interesting. Well, I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to talk about differences in people's perspective on COVID because I don't want to go there.
Yes, I agree. That is not.
It's like a third rail.
Oh,
it's like talking about politics or religion or.
I was at the gym and it came up and there was all of a sudden it got really heated.
There's no COVID in the gym. The gym I go to, you don't have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask when you go in, but as soon as you get inside by the weights area, you can just take your mask off and people come and talk. So I guess there's no COVID inside there.
It's strange. Yeah, but these guys were talking about it. It got heated pretty fast.
You're kidding?
No, like really fast.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to talk about COVID
at all.
But we will talk about financial matters, and
we'll take your calls at 833-99-WORTH. That's 833-999-6784. And give us a call, and don't ask any questions about COVID, though, because we're not going to talk about COVID. Or my daughter, did I mention this? My daughter teaches fifth grade, and did I mention this on the air? They call, the fifth graders call it Miss Rona.
Is that to put a nicer twist to it or something?
I don't know where it came from, but that's what these kids call it.
And it's all remote, right?
Yeah, it's all remote. It's all remote. It's so she moved back at home after college, and so first of all, I have 4 kids, and if any one of them, I told her when she was in college that she was allowed to move home, but not her brothers, because she's great. She's great. She helps around the house.
I just remember it was the year when she was in high school and you guys were having issues with her, concern about her and all that. It's funny how, and it's like once you go through that with your kids, it's like why are we so stressed about those things?
Yeah. And she's like, I mean, you get up in the morning and the dishwasher's empty and no one asked and the kitchen's clean and, she's like, I'm going to the store. Does anyone need anything?
Jess is not like that at all when she's visiting.
Oh, my
it's
boys.
like a hurricane.
Yeah, my boys. Can you take the trash out? The trash? I'm only home for 3 days. I can't take the trash out. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can, because you grew up here. But so I will go. So she teaches out of one of her brother's rooms. He's no longer there, and she's got a little classroom set up in there. If you look in the background, it looks like she's in a classroom. But I will go in and stand on the side so I can actually see the kids on the screen as she's interacting, but they can't see me. And it's something. There's a lot going on in that are distracting in kids' lives, especially given how they interact with each other. So they'll be in class, but they're texting each other back and forth, or they're messaging on others.
In 5th grade?
In 5th grade, yeah.
They text in 5th?
Yeah.
Well, they all have access to technology now, right?
That's right. Yeah. And then some kids won't show to class, and she'll ask, does anyone know where Billy is? And they're like, well, Billy was playing with me on Fortnite last night online, so I know he's okay and he's around. He probably just didn't feel like coming to school today. And then, it's not like you're coming to schools. There's not too much anyway, it's interesting.
Well, the longer this goes on, when you start thinking out what the repercussions are. I mean, the wealthy families hire their own tutors and have learning pods and all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
And it's the
it's the middle and low income families that are, anyway. Hard to watch.
Yeah. It's quite sad. Anyway, let's.
But it is kind of funny when I was watching it when the kid put an 8-quart metal pot on his head and just started pounding on it in the middle of class just because he was bored. So.
What did he do?
So you could see it on the Zoom. He had a big pot, like a boiling pot. And he just put it over his head and he was pounding on it in the side of his head. I think just to keep himself amused while he was in the Zoom classroom.
I remember days like that at school. I wish I had something to put a bucket over my head. I wasn't the best student. Maybe I think I was that age.
You did okay.
I don't know if I should confess this.
Okay, go ahead. We're all people. We all have.
We'll get to the real matter, the gist of
we
things
all have
here.
passed.
So junior high, my parents divorced when I was a little kid. I bounced back and forth, and I think I went to like 11 schools by the time I graduated high school.
It's a little hard.
So I bounced around. So I moved from my mom to from my mom to my dad's, from in the middle of a ranch in the middle of nowhere to Los Angeles, Torrance, big school and all that. And one of my first friends, this guy Jerry, befriended me, and who later turned out to be not such great of influence that I quit hanging out with him. But early on, he's like, Scott, why are you doing your homework? You have to do your homework. Let's go ride go-karts instead. And so we had a paper out, and we used to collect money and go ride go-karts and eat giant grinder sandwich shop until we got behind on our newspaper bill. But that's another story. And so I quit doing
homework.
Yeah.
Based on Jerry's recommendation.
Correct. Based on Jerry's recommendation. I'm trying to meet new friends. I apparently had the wrong shoes because my parents wouldn't buy me Vans. I had the Van knockoff, and I got teased for that. So, I was a little kid trying to figure out how to make way. Not an excuse. It is an excuse. Anyway, so I got a D on my report card, and he says, you just change it to a B.
He told you. Jerry told you.
Yeah, so I took a typewriter and changed the D to a B. All was fine in the Hanson household.
How is Jerry?
He's in jail. No, I don't know. I don't know how he is today. But that was the only time I ever did
you probably
that.
Felt bad about it.
I
afterwards.
still feel bad about it. I'm 54, and I think I still feel guilty for that level of dishonesty. But
well, you were smart enough to quit hanging out with Jerry. And do you realize Jerry's parents were saying the same thing about you?
I don't think so.
All right, let's get to the calls.
Yeah, let's go to calls. Sorry, we get distracted sometime. There's a future for everybody. By the way, my high school GPA was a 2.2, and I think I wasn't motivated. I don't know. There's lots of different things, but it's like if I got anything higher than a C, I figured I was wasting my time. Like I'll just get a C and then go smoke clove cigarettes at lunchtime, which is what I did in high school. And like I have friends now, their kids, they're like distraught because their kids, and some of them, I could just tell they're smart kids. And so I tell them my story. They love hearing my story because they feel they have hope for their kids.
Yeah, but you don't tell the kids your story.
No, gosh, no.
Yeah.
You got to study.
Unfortunately, on this show, we could talk about it because our demographic isn't 14 to 18-year-olds.
No, thankfully. But all right, let's go to the calls. 833-99-WORTH if you want to be part of the program. That's 833-999-6784. And we're talking with Caroline. Caroline, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hi there. So thank you for taking my call today. My husband and I both work for the state of California. We have about 15 years of state service each and are hoping to at some point retire, hopefully at 55. We currently are debt-free except for our home, which we have on a 15-year fixed. So we'll pay that off by the time we retire is our goal. But we don't do any other saving for retirement outside of our state pension. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts on what we should be doing for our retirement and how much we should be putting in, just kind of a basic rundown, if that's possible, please.
How old are you?
Yeah.
I'm 42 and my husband is 43.
And do you have children?
We do have children. We have 4 of them.
And have you funded their 529 plans for college? Anything around that sort of thing?
So we have started that just very recently, just a couple of months ago. And so we really were trying to focus on getting out of debt and getting our house into a better loan. So we did a no cash out refi to fix the damage we did when we originally bought our house.
Got it. And what's your approximate family income?
Right now, it's $143,000.
And how old are the kids?
Our oldest is 19, and our youngest is 13.
Got it.
Sound like the McLeans. You guys had 4 boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We did, and the boys are 15. They're right in the middle.
Okay. What percentage of your income are you saving to your 401k now?
Currently, we're not doing anything outside of what the state takes out as our mandatory retirement contribution.
Got it. So you have lots of room. Lots and lots of room. So the mandatory...
Yeah.
Lots of room, whether she's... So...
You have lots of tax room. There's lots of tools available to you.
Yes. Assuming... But the challenge is going to be where you're going to tighten the belt in order to make these savings happen. Whether it's for your retirement or your kids' educations, it's tightening that belt.
Yeah, and how much do you think you could save in addition to... So that mandatory has to do with your pension, your defined benefit pension plan.
Correct.
So how much money could you or want to save in addition to that on a monthly basis?
So we currently have a disposable income of upwards of $2,000 a month. And so that's when all of our household bills are paid and our mortgage is paid, and we have, a little entertainment fund, a vacation fund, that type of thing.
And are you saving for the kids' education?
We are. We just recently started. Our oldest is in the military, and so luckily the GI Bill will pay for her college. But we are starting to save for our 3 youngest. 2 of them are sophomores in high school, and then our youngest is in 8th grade.
And how much are you saving?
So we are currently putting $100 a month into each of their, we're not using a 529, we're just using a savings account right now.
Yeah, I think saving for your retirement. I mean, it's a luxury for families to be able to send their kid to some nice, fancy 4-year college and have a bunch of money saved up. I mean,
it's difficult. And so I wouldn't, you want a little bit there, but I wouldn't, because there's nothing wrong with a kid going 2 years to, you live in the state of California, 2 years to a community college, and then they're guaranteed acceptance.
I went 4 years.
In a community college. Yeah. And then
I ran a little business on the side. I probably learned more during that season than I did as I finished up my undergrad. But
yeah, in fact, if you need your trees trimmed, give Scott a call. So I would start saving $1,000 to $1,500 a month into your 401k or 457 plan. I'd probably use... What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would probably use the 457 plan.
457. Okay.
And I would just do it... You can do it in either your...
I'd use the 401k.
Why?
Just because I wouldn't want to be because the difference is a 401k plan, as you know, I'm telling this for the rest of our listeners here. Money in a 401k plan is at a separate trust. It's totally protected. Money in a 457 plan, it's technically a liability of the state of California. You work for the state of California. Should the state ever run into problems, there's some element of risk there that you're receiving no benefit for.
The 457 has much more liquidity in retirement than the 401k.
Only if you retire before 59 and a half, which...
55, actually.
Thank you for 55, which they're not going to be retiring before 55.
No, but we're hoping to retire at 55 if possible.
All right, yeah. Caroline, excuse me 1 minute. I'm going to argue with Scott. I agree with you. Use the 401k.
I thought you were going to argue with me.
I was starting to, and then you're right.
A decade ago, I would have said the 457.
The reality is the minutia is there, but I'm gonna go with you. It is safer in the 401k than the 457.
If you look 10, 20 years out in the state of California, I don't know where things are going.
So use the 401k, do 100% equities, 100% equities. Take half of it. Start with $1,000 a month. Take 500 from yours and 500 from your husband's, and start that. Wait 6 months, see how it goes. If you're comfortable with that coming out of your paycheck, increase it by $200 a month every month.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Or excuse me, every 6 months. $200 every 6 months. Yeah, until you get to where you're starting to feel uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with your kids going to community college and then do a university in the state of California. So
absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Then just one follow-up question. Do you recommend... Is it the Roth 401k, so it's before taxes, or the one that's after taxes?
At 143. 3 kids at home.
I would
I'd go half and half.
Because you're above. I'm trying to think. Would it help you for the earned income tax credit? But you're probably above. I would run the numbers.
It's close.
Who does your taxes now?
I do.
Okay.
TurboTax or one of those?
Yes.
Here's what I would do, Carolyn. I would go in and plug in like take 12 grand or whatever the income, however you plan on doing on an annual basis. Subtract that dollar amount and see what it does to your
Marginal tax rate.
How much tax savings that does for you.
Yeah. Because you're right on. You're
Because there might be some additional.
you might end up going half and half.
Yeah.
So the answer is
I would think half and half.
That would be my guess, but I'd still run the numbers.
I'm thinking you're my little sister. I'd say do half and half.
Yeah.
You may or may not stay in California, which is such a high tax state for retirees.
Yeah. But you can run the numbers, but my guess is you're probably going to end up about half and half, which is fine.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Good luck with those. Good luck. And what branch of the military is your daughter in?
The National Guard.
Oh, she is. Good for her.
She is.
Good for her.
Yeah, thank you.
You should
Thank
be
you, Carolyn.
proud mother and father.
Appreciate the call. Let's continue with calls. We're talking with George. George with Allworth Money Matters.
Pat and Scott, pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, George.
What can we do for you, my friend?
Long-time listener, but first-time caller, and just wanted to let me set up my question. I just turned 58 in July. Been in corporate America for 33 years. Enjoy my job. Really would like to work till about 60. And this is where my question comes in on my restricted stock options. They're 5-year cliffs. They started in 2018. If I make 60, I'll get a prorated amount. Currently, it is about 300,000 in the restricted stock options. I figure at 60, I can access it would be between 150, 175,000 of it on a prorated basis at 60.
Okay.
And my question is today, I guess, really is, do I make 60? Do I need to make 60? I have a lot of other investments, but just really looking for some professional advice.
So, in other words, the one way to think about this is because right now you're not vested in any of your stock, right?
Correct.
But you hit 60, you'll vest for today's value somewhere between 150 and 170,000. So think of it like 80 grand a year of additional income per year for the next 2 years.
Yes. So you're thinking about leaving
now
early versus giving this up.
Well, I'd like to work till 60, but I also have it in my mind that there's a possibility I could do that. Correct.
Oh, so Scott's
or you can work till 63
and get it all,
or till 70.
That is true too.
Or to 80 and really have a lot of money.
So the way to think about this is pretend those options aren't there at all. And you had a choice of staying at your job at your current salary or staying at your job where it pays $80,000 more a year. Would that $80,000 more a year cause you to stay at the job?
That's a great question.
You know why they like these restricted stocks.
You know what they call them? Golden handcuffs.
Yeah, it's because can't really afford to leave.
Golden handcuffs. Definitely.
So that's what
if you quit your job today, do you have the financial assets to retire and maintain your same standard of living?
Yes, I believe I do.
And if you quit your job today, would you go do something different?
Possibility. I think I'd take a little bit of time off though, and then consider doing that.
And what's your annual income ballpark?
Between me and my wife?
No, just yours.
Just mine. Around 300.
Okay. And if you were to work for somewhere,
so here's what.
So here's what I'm trying to figure out. Are you trying to convince yourself to leave your job to do something different because you're burnt out where you are? Is that a driving factor here? I mean,
yeah. What? precipitated the call?
I mean, I guess it's not, I don't know if it's called burnout. Like I said, I enjoy what I do, but I've been doing it in the grind of corporate America for 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought of stepping aside entertains me. I just don't know, if I wait to cash out at 60, which is only, close to a year and a half away.
Yep.
Or do I make that step? Yeah, I guess that's really what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, so just think about it go back to that question, which is, hey, would you do this job for another $70,000, $80,000 a year? And that's how you're going to answer it. But what scared me most about your answer, George, is when we said if you had enough resources to retire otherwise, and you said, I think so.
So you need to get confident on what that is.
You said, I think so.
And I believe I do. I guess I haven't convinced I think I've had some people look at different things that I have and have told me that I'm close, but I've never said I want to stop at 58 years old.
Well, I think it would be helpful for you. It sounds like you and your wife to sit with a financial advisor, have them go through a retirement plan and see if you're in a position now that you could afford to retire and never have to worry about working again, or if you have to continue to earn some income, what that number might be. Because you might be in a position where maybe you don't have quite enough, but it might be like such that, you know what, George, like, I'm done with this career. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take some time off. And then you go and find a job somewhere where you're making $100,000 a year. Not even where close, but something where it's something totally different, something that you're thriving in. And like, I can do this till I'm 70.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Is the company downsizing at all?
No, the company's not downsizing, but it's. I feel like I'm a cat with 9 lives. I've been through like 7 or 8 reorgs. I've made 7 or 8 reorgs.
Next time, let it land on you.
That's right.
I know.
That's why he's asking,
right? You got to get. Listen, if you're thinking about it, you want to get tapped on the back, right? Don't you?
You mean be front and center?
Yeah. Don't hide from those guys, right? You've been there for 40 years. I'm guessing I know the name of the company, and you're just like, hey, here I am. And they're like, hey, George, here's a little package, and by those ways, we're going to accelerate your RSO.
In all seriousness, George, I really do think sitting down and doing that, because we've done these kind of calculations a number of times with people. People like, they've got a pension that's going to vest in 12 years. And like, I need to do I don't think I could do this 12 more years. And like, all right, well, what's that really mean financially? And what's it mean on your retirement?
Yeah.
What would you have to be making somewhere else?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a helpful exercise.
Yeah. And people say I can't do that, but you can't
do it.
Well, they say I can't work another day, and I'm like, well, what if this day paid you $80,000 to work that one day? And like, I could work another day.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, appreciate the call, George,
you.
and wish you well. All right, well, we've got a few moments left here, and I wanted to bring up there's a new retirement bill, bipartisan bill. Normally, we don't talk about pending legislation because
it very rarely ends up in the same form that it went into the lawmaking.
But what this is designed to do, it's two things. It will let workers repaying student loans to get a company match, basically to have the companies match to help them pay off a student loan rather than save for retirement. I don't know how good that's going to be for their overall retirement.
Right.
But it will increase the required minimum distribution age from 72 to 75.
Which, both of those. Why bother?
What do you mean, why bother?
Like, why bother? What percentage of the population is the required minimum distribution at age 72 an issue, Scott? What percentage? Just ballpark it. Of the population.
Well, considering that the majority of retirees rely on Social Security for the majority of their income,
yes.
I'm thinking it's around 5%.
Of all Americans.
Oh, no. All Americans. I mean, so now we're talking about people, well, it's only those that have
high account balances.
High account balance. Maybe people in their 50s might be starting to be concerned about it because their account balance.
Yeah, high account balances.
So now I'm thinking it's less than 1%.
Right. And the change from age 72 where the required minimum distributions to age 75.
Doesn't make much sense.
It's like nothing, right? We're talking about pennies. And then the match on student loans, what percentage of the companies are actually going to roll that out? What percentage of the companies right now in America say we need to offer more attractive benefits to get employees to come and work for us?
Oh, in this environment?
In this environment,
No.
what percentage?
No, there's tons of talent out there.
Tons of talent. Too much
11
talent.
million Americans who were employed pre the pandemic are unemployed today.
Who's this apply to? People under the age of 30. 35 maybe. 40 possibly.
I don't know why they called it the Securing a Strong Retirement
It's
Act.
just stupid. I read the same thing and I thought someone needs to go back and take them aside and say, look.
I'm not sure if either one of these, Richard Neal, Democrat of Massachusetts, and Kevin Brady, Republican from Texas. I don't know if either one of them still made it.
Yeah, I read that and I thought to myself, why don't we do things that matter?
We're taking a quick break. This is Allworth's Money Matters. Stick around for more.
Can't get enough of Allworth's Money Matters? Visit allworthfinancial.com/radio to listen to the Money Matters podcast.
Welcome back to Allworth's Money Matters. Scott Hansen.
Pat McLean.
Glad you guys are with us as we're talking about finances. Thanksgiving's coming up this week. Very strange Thanksgiving for most people.
Yes.
Well,
I don't even know. I haven't even asked. I never even discussed it with my wife. I should know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sure
I'll find out what we're doing for Thanksgiving sometime prior to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it's day by day.
It is day by day. Anyway, let's take some calls because that's why you're listening to our program. 833-99-WORTH is the contact number here to join the show. 833-999-6784. Let's start off here with Dennis. Dennis, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hi.
Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how's everything?
We are fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
I have a question about Medicare. So I'm 100% disabled with the VA, so I get free medical through the VA, and I'm also retired through the state of California because I was injured on the job working for the state, so I get free medical through CalPERS also. Mm-hmm. I'm also 100% disabled with Social Security, so I know I qualify for Medicare, but when I'm 61, when I turn 65, do I have to sign up for Medicare?
I think, doesn't the state of California work in conjunction with Medicare?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that you would get the equivalent or similar coverage paid by the state, but I believe they act as the there'd be a wraparound plan just like any other one, right?
Yeah, Dennis, here's what we're going to do. Pat, neither Pat nor myself know the answer to that, but at Allworth, we do have some people that are more specialists in this particular planning, particularly in
around health insurance and retirees.
Yes.
So
and we will have we're going to put you back on hold and take your number, and we'll
have someone in the organization that is far smarter than ourselves when it comes to
hard to believe.
When it comes to health insurance, and it's a very specific question, which is retirees from the state of California, which we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those,
and VA,
but I am not involved.
If I were a betting man, I'd say yes, because typically retiree medical insurance post 65, it's the supplement to the Medicare.
That's right, but
I don't want to speak. I'm not going to speak. I mean, if you were in our office and you asked that question, I'm not going to just give you my best guess.
Yeah, someone would. We would actually, if you were in my office, I'd actually just pick up the phone and call the person that I knew had the answer, and they would answer the question for us.
So we'll reach back out, Dennis.
Well, we're going to put you on hold, and we'll have
Yeah.
someone follow up with you.
Yeah, it's
But anyway, is there any other questions we can't answer for you?
it's one of those areas, Pat, that look, we've both been financial advisors for roughly 30 years, and it's one of those areas that we both know kind of enough to be dangerous. Which I think it's good that we've got people in the organization that know more in those areas, but we should probably
what?
brush up a bit.
I'm not brushing up on. I'm personally not going to brush up on state of California employee health care benefits and retirement. Just telling you, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, fair. As I'm saying that. You mean of all things for you to put your energy? That's not
I'm
it?
just not going to put any time or energy into that. Just know myself. I've lived with myself for 57 years, and even if I told you I was,
I'm not going to either. And one of the nice things I think about is that as the organization grows, we have more specialists in different areas that are experts in different things. And
25 years ago, I would have actually, since there was only 10 of us, and now there's 250. I would have actually done the research myself and gotten back to them, but I'm someone else in the organization. Not that I'm a big highfalutin silver spoon type of guy. It's just that it's what you pay the new kids for.
To do the heavy lifting on the work?
Yeah, the 30-somethings, the 20-somethings.
Kids, you can tell you're getting older when you're talking about the new kids, the 30-somethings.
The 20-somethings, the 30-somethings.
The new kids. Yeah, he's 37.
The new kids.
All right, let's take some more calls here. We're going to go and talk with Alan. Alan, you're with Allworth Money Matters.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, the question I have tonight, would you mind discussing the differences between the conventional 401k versus the Roth 401k, and how those strategies for using one or the other would apply to somebody in their 20s and 30s, 40s and 50s, and then 60 plus.
Okay.
And do it in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. So a traditional 401k, when money goes into that plan, the taxpayer receives a tax deduction for that. So as an example, if someone makes $100,000 a year, they put $10,000 into the 401k. They have to pay Social Security taxes on the full $100,000, but the money they put into the 401k, it's taxed like they're only earned $90,000, not $100,000. That $10,000 deposit grows tax deferred, so whatever it's invested in, whether it's dividends or capital gain, it's all going to go tax deferred. And then at some time at retirement, when the taxpayer pulls the money out of the 401k, it's going to be taxed at their current tax rates, whatever that might be in the future. So, and as a rule of thumb, if someone is in a high tax bracket today and believes they'll be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, it makes sense to use a traditional 401k. A Roth, on the other hand, with a Roth, you don't get a tax deduction for the money going in. So if you make $100,000, you put 10 in, you're still stuck paying tax on that $100,000. That deposit grows tax deferred, just like with the traditional. But now at retirement, the money comes out completely tax free. So as a kind of a general rule, I think the younger somebody is, the odds are they're going to be, they're less advanced in their career, probably lower income in your 20s than you're going to be in your 30s or 40s or 50s. It's a great time to take advantage of the Roth. Furthermore, if someone wanted to maximize their retirement account, I've never seen anyone save the tax savings, right? So the money that they get is saved by putting money in a traditional 401k. I've never seen an investment account where someone says, "Oh, this is the money that I saved in taxes for my 401k." So instead, what happens to it ends up getting spent. So you take two people who start their careers in their 20s, one saves in a traditional 401k, one saves in a Roth 401k. They both put the maximum in. The one who's utilized the Roth is going to be much further ahead at retirement. They're going to have the same amount in their retirement accounts, but the one in Roth is going to be completely tax-free.
And have a higher standard of living. All things being equal, depends on how high the tax rates are in the state that you're actually putting the deposits in. And if you retire in a lower tax state, that says that a Roth is not as good as a deductible IRA or a 401k.
Does that help?
Okay. Yes, actually, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's, we find Ross fascinating as well.
Alan, we certainly appreciate the call and glad you joined. Hope that was at least have
That was a nice little primer on.
I had a feeling he was calling me regarding a child. Well, because he was.
Yeah. That's
have
nice.
your kid. Have
your kid call.
That's quite often we get.
Although I responded to a text from one of my son's friends about using his Roth IRA this week to buy a rental property. And then I'm like, anyway, I gave him three suggestions by text. At first, I'm like, just get yourself a financial advisor because you really need one. And then I'm like, I think I am his financial advisor. I'm just not paid.
Who was this?
Oh, my son's friend, Matt. He lives in Arkansas. He listens to the podcast too.
Matt just realized he gets free advice. They're going to get lots of texts from him now.
Oh, Matt.
Hey, Mr. McLean.
This won't go on forever, Matt.
Continue on. We'll talk with Gary. Gary, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, glad you joined us.
So I got a question on whether I should refi or not. It's a little close to the edge, so I wanted to get some expert eyes on this. So right now I'm paying 3.25. I've got 16 years left on a 20-year loan with a balance of $233,000, and I'm planning on paying it off in 7 to 10 years if my outside investments kind of work my way. The option is a 15-year loan, same balance obviously at 2.5 fixed, and obviously my monthly stuff goes up because they re-amortize it and all that. And the 2.5 fixed, wow, that's better than 3.25. But I'm betting I'm so far along in my term that the penalty I've already paid enough to catch up.
Yeah.
It's not worth the refi.
So let's stop for a second. So these loans are what are called simple interest loans, which means the interest is actually computed on the outstanding balance of the loan. So it doesn't matter if you're day one into the mortgage or day 3,000. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. It's the amount of interest that you are actually paying on it. So at $233,000.
I mean, as an example, if your mortgage balance, you only owed $2,000 left on your mortgage, and your payments were $1,000, that $1,000 would pay off 50% of your mortgage. Not because you were in year 29, but only because your mortgage balance was so small relative to what your payment was.
And the interest rate they charge you is on the outstanding balance. So the answer to your question is, assuming there is no cost in getting this loan,
or little cost,
you're saving 0.75% per year on the cost of money. The loan amount is $233,000. So your savings is going to be approximately $1,700 a year in interest payments over the first year of the mortgage. Okay? So that's the first year of the mortgage. It's going to get less and less and less and less over time, but it most certainly makes sense for you to actually pay this thing off or to refinance this at 2.5%.
Okay.
And a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. In a minute.
Okay, yeah.
I had this conversation with my cousin 3 days ago and her husband.
Okay, yeah. There's about $3,000 or $4,000 of costs that get rolled in there, obviously, but that's not a big deal on that balance.
If it's $2,000 or $3,000, your break even is less than 24 months. Do it anyway. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well,
Alrighty.
that's what I'm looking for, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Right.
glad you called, Gary.
Appreciate it.
Wish you well. And let's talk with Frank in Cupertino. Frank, you're with Allworth's Money Matters.
Yes, this is Frank here.
Hi,
is this,
Frank.
Scott and Pat?
It is.
Hi. I've got a reverse mortgage. It's a little bit more than a year old, and the interest rate that's currently I'm paying is 4.99% on the balance that I own. It started out at 5.7. That is now is decreased down to 4.99. But it's also got a limit of 14.4 if rates start going up. And but anyway, so I noticed that the interest rates on mortgages are substantially lower than what I'm paying. So is it possible that I can renegotiate my adjustable rate mortgage reverse mortgage.
Odds are you have a home equity conversion mortgage. Is that right?
Heck 'em.
Yeah, it was a jumbo. Yeah, I converted. I paid. They paid off all my old mortgages, and so I got the reverse mortgage. They gave me a lump sum.
How big?
A big chunk after the lump sum they gave me was about $350,000.
And
the original principal was $1.4 million, and my current loan balance is $781,000.
Okay, so you got a jumbo. So this wasn't
a jumbo. Yeah,
yeah. This wasn't a home equity conversion.
And what'd
mortgage.
you do with the $350,000?
Well, it sounds like right. You took some in cash, and then you took some and paid off the existing mortgages. Correct?
Well, they did. They paid off my existing home loan. Yeah, that was paid off, and that was only at 3%.
And what did you do
my
with
original
Did you
loan.
take cash out, stuck in your pocket? Not the pocket, but you know.
Well, I took. They gave me $350,000, which I put in investments through my Allworth Financial Investments. It's a very a safe level, a safe risk level.
Okay.
Okay.
But Allworth didn't tell you to get the reverse mortgage in order to give us the money, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to make sure of that because that would that would not be good
Typical advice.
That would not be typical advice. So the answer,
I needed the money. Yeah, I needed some money to pay from the caregivers for my wife.
Okay.
Who's pretty much a homebody. Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
what I need the money for.
and that's what the
Got it.
money in is why you've got it in basically a fixed account.
And is your wife still requiring the care?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that could go on forever. Yeah.
So Frank, they will not renegotiate this.
They won't.
No. They won't. They won't.
The loan is I've got a line of credit, which is what I can dip into over as the years go by.
And how much is that line of credit?
The line of credit currently is $647,000.
I mean, that's the beautiful. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, just for the rest of our listeners here, you live in a town called Cupertino, which is in the heartbeat, right in the dead center of Silicon Valley, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
What is
right near Apple Computer? Yeah.
What is your home? Tell us a little bit about your house and what it appraised for when you did this reverse mortgage.
When we did the reverse mortgage, they appraised it at almost $3 million.
And tell us about the house.
What's that?
Tell us about the house. Is it a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom? How many square feet?
It's a 4-bedroom, 2-story house on a 7,500 square foot lot. I bought it originally for
$37,500.
And it's $3 million.
50 some years ago. And it's worth $3 million today. Yeah.
And unfortunately, since
if that house were in Wichita, Kansas,
how much would it sell for?
Oh, quite a bit less.
okay, a couple hundred, maybe, right?
Maybe 200,000 or 300,000.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
So you've got two things going against you. One is that
he's got a couple things going for it.
One of the things is
your home is incredibly. I mean, how fortunate to be at this stage and got so much equity in your house that you're able to use this product that you don't have to make a mortgage payment. You've got cash set in the bank to help pay for your wife's care needs, and you have another $650,000 that you can draw upon in the event that the care continues to go for longer and longer and longer.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
The downside to that plan is that you're paying a much higher interest rate than you'd be paying on a regular mortgage.
That's right. And so the only one that loses out on this is the kids that were going to inherit the money.
But they're glad you didn't live in Wichita, Kansas, and you lived in Cupertino because there's going to be a lot of equity left regardless.
So the thing that will stop you from refinancing one is that my guess is since you got the reverse mortgage and today that home has fallen in value.
Yeah.
Because of what's happening in the San Francisco Bay Area.
It might or might not have. I don't know. But the nice thing,
it's pretty steady where we are.
The nice thing,
it never has gone down. It's going up actually.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing is if something weird happens and it does go down,
it doesn't matter to you. So
it doesn't matter to you.
And
that's right. I don't care.
They're not going to. They won't refinance this.
Oh, they won't do
Just
it?
ignore
Yeah.
it.
Just
Otherwise, it's
pretend
going
it
to be.
didn't exist.
Don't let it be a thorn in your side. Whenever you see the cost, think of the benefits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll go crazy.
It's been great for you. It's allowed you to
Okay.
stay in your home
It's a
and
great
take care
program
of
for
your wife. And
10 years ago, you'd be tickled pink at 4.9%.
so appreciate
Okay,
the
I think I
call.
will. Yeah.
All right, Frank. Wish
Good.
you well.
Thank you very much for your opinion.
Yeah, glad you
Bye-bye.
called. And it was an amazing product to help them in a situation quite like that. And some people might say, well, why didn't he just move? I'm sorry, he doesn't want to move. He's been in the same house for years, and his wife probably doesn't want to leave the
Yeah,
house.
most people want to age at home.
And we're going to, this is great. Are we going to Guam and talk to Eileen? Eileen, you're with Allworth Money Matters.
Hi, good morning. It's good morning here.
Oh, good. You're calling from Guam. How can we help you?
Yes, I have a question regarding what would be better for us, because we're trying to getting a refinance on our mortgage
Okay.
loan, and we have an option between 15 years and 30 years. The 15 years is 1.87% interest rate, and that's roughly $1,500 per month payment. And then the 30 years have a 2.375%
That's
interest
incredible.
rate.
Incredible.
And how-
Roughly 1,000.
And what's the payment on that one?
1,900. It's about 1,000.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 48.
And are you married? How old is your spouse?
Yes, my husband is retired. He's 70.
And how's
What's the outstanding balance on this?
Well, right now it's 110. We were on about a 3.75 interest for 15 years, and we have a few more years on it.
and you live in Guam?
Yes.
And I'm assuming your husband will predecease you just based upon age. Is there a pension that he has that you'll be a survivor on?
Yes.
And how much will it be reduced in size, the pension, or will it be the same as he's receiving today?
It'll be the same.
And are you working or no?
Yeah, I teach part-time now because we homeschool our children. Our two children are still school age.
How old are the kids?
And, well, the older boy is 16. He's 11th grade, and 11 years old, the youngest
Okay.
one. Our daughter is in college, our firstborn.
And what's
what-
the? Oh, sorry, Scott.
Same question.
Yeah.
What's the ballpark family income?
Oh, gosh. Income. Well, let me ask my husband.
Well, let me ask you this. Just let me ask you this question: Would that an extra $500 make a big difference in your lifestyle? Would that be that much helpful?
I'm not thinking it is. I'm just thinking of if we decide to keep the house, because the thing is we want to sell it in a couple years. We have the equity on it is much larger than the loan amount. We're trying to get a bigger loan, or we want to consolidate. I think that's basically what we want to get, the lower interest and put it and consolidate all the other loans.
And tell us about
at
the
a
other
lower
loans.
interest rate.
Tell us about the other
And
loan.
sell the house. It has this house is worth about $800,000.
And what would a new house cost you then?
We plan to move stateside, and we're looking at about $350,000.
Okay.
Okay, this
homes
helps.
and,
Yes. Just do the 30 year.
Do the 30 year. That helps. That helps. That is. Thank you for actually fast forwarding and saving us about 10 questions.
Matter of fact, if you are highly confident of this, I would do what's called a 30 due in 7. So what happens is the interest rate is fixed for 7 years, and then it becomes adjustable. So your payments are still nice and low for a 30-year mortgage, but your interest rate's going to be.
It could even be lower than the 1.87.
Yeah. The challenge with that, though, you got to be pretty confident that you're going to be making this move.
She's got a ton of equity in the house, though, right? She's got 600. How much other debt were you rolling into this?
About 50,000.
Oh, you're great.
I think we're both sitting there thinking, I've never been to Guam. I'm just thinking, I also have some very modest home in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, what's an $800,000 home in Guam look like?
Well, we have ocean view. This is a custom-made executive home that my husband built, and
that's what I'd
all
figure.
Concrete, all homes here in Guam.
And how many square feet is this home?
About 2,500. 2,000.
Would it be considered one of the nicer homes in Guam?
Yes.
Okay, I have no idea. right, I don't know much about Guam.
But all these things help. So 30 years.
30 years.
Or a 30 doing 7.
Yeah.
The plan is definitely to move back stateside. Clearly 7 years from now, your 16-year-old will be...
hopefully gone. So I agree with Scott.
Yeah, that's why we're moving to the States. He's going to be in college, and my daughter would plan to go into a university. And the courses that they want to major in are not offered on islands. So
Perfect.
we definitely want to help them out.
Write this down. You want to do a 30 due in 7.
Or if they've got one doing 5 even.
Or even 5. 30 due in 5 or 30 due in 7. All that means is that interest rate is going to be fixed for 5 or 7 years, and then it's going to reset to the prevailing interest rate at the time. The reason you don't care about that is because your plan of moving back stateside is less than 5 years. So you get the benefit of the lower payment being amortized over 30 years, and you receive the benefit of a lower interest rate because the interest rate is only fixed for 5 or 7 years. So you want to do a 30 due in 5 or 30 due in 7. And we've found out recently that there's a closing cost. Yeah.
And
what you just need to make sure that what you want to know is what the effective rate is. I'd have the closing costs all rolled in. You want to judge things on the effective rate and threaten to shop the deal.
That's right.
And that'll work for you. We are out of time, but glad you called. By the way, real quickly, our 7 Personal Decision Point virtual workshop is available on demand at our website, allworthfinancial.com. It might be helpful. We'll see you next week. This has been Allworth's Money Matters.
This program has been brought to you by Allworth Financial, a registered investment advisory firm. Any ideas presented during this program are not intended to provide specific financial advice. You should consult your own financial advisor, tax consultant, or estate planning attorney to conduct your own due diligence.